I tried everything to stop drinking. AA, cold turkey, having rules around my drinking, having rules when I couldn't drink, bargaining with myself, bargaining with others. Tried weed, journaling, tried many different things, many different ways to stop the endless cycle of addiction, the endless cycle of fucking disappointing myself, and the endless cycle of shame. But guess what? I ended up pissed as a fart, bottle in hand, disappointment in my heart, 7 o'clock. Because I wasn't weak, I wasn't stupid, but I just didn't have a system. I was trapped in a cycle that I just didn't know how to break. I was trapped in a thought process that fucking just kept me stuck in a fucking fuckery. If you're watching this video, you're somebody that's possibly stuck too. And I want to tell you that you're not stupid, you're not fucking dumb. There is a way out. And you might think that there isn't, but there is a solution. You just haven't found it yet. So this video is for a guy like yourself who's ready to do something different, ready to change, but just doesn't know how to and finds himself still stuck in the problem. I want to tell you why nothing has worked up until now. I know because I drank every day for fucking 20 years and I know how to get out of it because I don't drink anymore. So when people say, oh, you fucking don't know what you're talking about, I would argue that fucking they don't know what they're talking about because I was a heavy drinker to the point that there's not many people that would drink more than me. It's not a competition. It's just a statement of fact. A lot of these so-called coaches and stuff like that, they have a glass of wine every now and again or whatever, and it's not to put shit on them. It's just to say that not everyone comes back from where I was and not everyone comes back whole. Just think about that. Not everyone comes back. And you might think, oh, well, it's not that bad. Oh, well, if you're drinking every day, you go to work. Yeah, you fucking show up. You fucking make money. And you say to yourself, well, it's not that bad. It is that bad. Something does need to change. And the only person that can change it is you. As much as I'd like to be able to solve the problems for the world, I can only point in the solution. And the solution is you. Accepting that you're part of the solution rather than thinking that you're stuck in the trap that you can't get out of. Because you're not broken. You just don't have a system to work towards. You don't have a system that you can systematically put into place into your life so that you can start to do the processes, start to take the actions to get sober, because these are the things that will get you sober. It won't be talking about your feelings. It won't be fucking sitting in a circle going, it won't be fucking singing songs, and it won't be fucking finding God. Although those things may be helpful, that won't be the solution. The solution will be having a clear, systematic approach to this with step 1, 2, step 3, do this and have one foot in front of the other day after day when it's fucking boring and monotonous. And so that you start to create some structure around your drinking and around your life so that you can create the better life that you want, so that you can create the desired result, which is sobriety, because sobriety isn't about fucking singing songs. Sobriety isn't about standing up and saying what a piece of shit you are. Even though people would argue that you got to go to AA because that's the fucking solution to everything. And if you're anything like me, you don't want to get up and stand in front of people and say, hi, I'm Jason, I'm an alcoholic. Hi, I'm powerless over alcohol. And maybe I do or don't know. People would argue that what I'm saying is wrong and dangerous. Alcoholics Anonymous and 12-step programs do have a place for people that it works for. Alcoholics Anonymous and 12-step programs do have something to offer. But not everyone can pick up the solution. So if you go every day and if you do the work and you follow their process, it will probably work for you to some degree. But you've got to go there. You've got to do it. If you go there and it doesn't work for you, if it doesn't resonate with you, it doesn't matter how good at anything is, it won't work because you won't do it. You won't go. So you can't be fixed by something that you won't do. And a lot of people go to AA and they start talking about God. They start talking about higher power. They start talking about this, that, and the other and their thing. And it doesn't really fucking gel with me. So I think I'm not going to go. And then there isn't many other options, to be honest, that are widely available, that are helpful, that do the things that Alcoholics Anonymous and 12-step programs do, such as brotherhood, leadership, community, having people that will support you, having people that will champion you. These are the things that work. The things that don't work, hey, just getting up saying that you're powerless. I don't believe that that's helpful, because that changes your identity, that changes your beliefs about yourself. If you get up and say that you're powerless and you're an alcoholic, how are you supposed to turn that around? Whether or not, there's no such thing as medically alcoholism. It's just something that's used to define someone with an alcohol use disorder. So I would argue that there's no such thing as a medical disease. It might be classed somewhat as a medical disease, but it's not, because the cure is not drinking. So it's a pretty simple cure, isn't it? So you don't need to go to a doctor to know that if you're drinking and you stop drinking, you no longer have a disease. But this is the thing. It can be simple, but we overcomplicate it, because as men, we try to overcomplicate things because it has to be complicated, because if it wasn't complicated, why is it so fucking hard to get out of the trap that we've found ourselves in? And like I said, you haven't got there because you're stupid. You've gotten there because you haven't got a system that you can work at. I used to stop drinking for a couple of days, and then I'd find myself saying, oh, well, I've done it again. It wasn't that bad. I've managed to stop. So guess what? I deserve a little treat. I deserve a drink. And then I'd find myself 6 months later saying, how the fuck did I get here? Over and over and over again. But the problem is that you still see yourself as a drinker. And that's where willpower comes in, because you're saying to yourself, well, I'm just not going to drink today. And then you fight it. And then eventually, because you still see yourself as a drinker, you still see drinking as some sort of positive thing, even though really it's a negative in your life and in everybody's life, really, when you think about it. Because it's a poison, and it kills people, and it kills you, and it kills your brain cells, and it kills everything that it touches, because it's a poison. And then you're sitting there seeing yourself as a drinker, and you're trying to fight the urge instead of removing the option from your brain, because it's about removing the need to drink by changing your identity, by flipping the switch in your head to go, I'm not a drinker. I don't drink. Drinking has nothing to offer. And when you get to that point, drinking really isn't something that you think about, because you don't do it. You don't think about eating dog poo all the time. You don't think, oh, well, if I've just got to stop eating dog poo. It'd be really nice if I pick it up and give it a bit of a nibble. But you don't, because you don't see yourself as somebody that eats dog poo. And maybe there are people out there that see themselves that do that, and they'll probably have the same thing. So truth is, a saver switch. Let's talk about it. The real turning point in your life is when you get radically honest with yourself, because I had to admit that I didn't want to stop drinking. I drank because I didn't want to feel shit. And until you face truth, the real truth of your life, the real truth of your drinking, nothing's going to change. So I really ask yourself, what are you running from? What's drinking costing you, and what needs to change? And then when you get really honest, and really, when I say radical honesty, get really fucking honest about your drinking to yourself. You don't have to tell anyone. And then really make it a real decision is when there's no other option, but what you're deciding is going to be the case, what you're deciding for yourself. And when you look in the mirror and you just say, I don't drink anymore, no matter what, even if my ass is on fire, I'm still not going to drink. It's about making that decision. They talk about it when the Spanish conquistadors or whatever, when they went overseas, they burnt the boats because there was no going back. They had to make it fucking work. And that's when I found myself in that position. And that's really when for me, things changed, really, for my drinking, is because when there was no going back, when I said I don't drink anymore, not even when I feel uncomfortable, not even when I'm angry, not even when I'm sad, I just don't drink. And there's been times, and I'm not going to lie to say, well, you say to yourself, oh, it'll be all right. But you just get through those times because you've made a decision and you just stick to that decision. And then you have daily structure, which is things in place to keep you sober, because every day needs a plan, especially in the early days. You need to know what you do, why you're doing it, having a clear structure of your day. So there's no more winging it. There's no more fucking hoping it. And then make yourself a scorecard. Have sleep, food, movement, purpose. And each day that you tick these off so that you can start to get some wins on the boards, to start to sort of build some self-belief, start to build some abilities in yourself to start to make it happen. Because without structure, you're just hoping that you won't cave. And then the next part is to replace the void. Because alcohol gave me fake confidence, fake peace, fake joy, everything fake. But I replaced it with movement, with journaling, with conversations, with brotherhood. Because I didn't know who I was without drinking. Because when I was drinking, that's all that I had. But then I started to find things that made me proud. And then get a brotherhood around you, a brotherhood of men that will support you, champion, and work with you to help you build your life, to help you when sometimes you can't help yourself. It's just about having a team. Everything's better with a fucking team, isn't it? And then how do you stay sober beyond just getting sober? You've just got to start to build an identity around being sober. Build an identity, build a man, build a leader, build a legacy. Have clear rituals that you put into place that you daily do over and over and over again that help you to get those sober wins so that you can review at the end of the day. And then this is going to build your self-belief in yourself so that you fucking know that you're a winner. And one of the things that really helped me is at one time is having a fail safe that whereas so there's a few different fail safes that you can have in. One of the ones that I used was if I was going to drink, I had to do something really difficult, which was go walk up a big hill initially. And I didn't want to walk up the big hills. I just, I won't drink. And I guess it's a little bit of a mental game that you play with yourself. And then as the days go on, each day that you don't drink, you become stronger. You start to believe in yourself and you start to know that you're better than that. And then if you do drink, you're betraying the man that you are becoming. And I just want to tell you, you've tried everything except the one thing that you need to do, which is flick the fucking switch in your head and start to do the work. Start to get the structure, start to build the habits, start to build the belief, and start to build the man that you want to be, and then start to build the life that you want to live. Building your legacy to be the fucking leader that you are. You're not stupid, you're not broken, and you're not weak. You just haven't had a clear system, a clear structure, and a clear way forward yet. And I invite you to work with me. Go to kickthepiss.com, watch the training, and book a call. Because if you're watching this and this has made sense, I know what I'm talking about because I fucking lived it. I haven't got a PhD in this. I've got a PhD in fucking living it. But like I said, it's not something that I can do for you. I can show you the way, guide you, and help you get there. But if you're ready to change, I can assure you, I can help you. My name's Jason. I'm from Kick the Piss. And just remember, you can fucking change when you're ready. You can do it. And you're not alone. So let's go. kickthepiss.com.